TJ, not to make too much of a deal from the shooting figure from game to game, but what kind of statement or what does it say about this team's confidence or where their head is at to respond to one of their worst shooting performances of the season to now a new season high in points?
Yeah, no, I think our guys, again, we're boring. We do the same thing every day. We trust the habits and the work that we do, so we don't overreact one way or another. We have belief in our guys' ability to make shots and knock them down. And it was great to see, guys step up and do it with confidence today because it was important that we did that, and we worked for it and we proved it to ourselves. So proud of our guys for doing it.
And Joshua tonight with 30, I think his previous career high is 21. How does it typify the way he got that type of scoring effort that, A, he misses a free throw, Deshaun gets an offensive rebound, Keyshawn finds him for his first three, then he hits a couple more and gets rolling that way through that effort?
Yeah, no, I think with Joshua, obviously we're seeing with every game how he's continuing to impact winning in different ways. And, tonight, you could just tell he had the confidence in his shot. He puts the work in, and so it's great. Our guys recognize that. They see him, doing the work. And, as you mentioned, he gets to the foul line and rebounds well, but and makes plays for us. I mean, he does so many winning things. So I think shooting the ball or finishing plays is part of it, and glad that he was able to do that tonight.
And what shifted for you guys when I think about not that far into the game, you've got 8 turnovers, they've got 3. You completely flip that for the rest of the game. Yeah,
no, I think, to your point, we were very careless early, and we needed to clean that up. We addressed it, talked about it, where they're bringing help from, what plays we need to make when we attack to get to the rim with force. And, from that point forward, the rest of the game, I think the 2 turnovers we had, Brant got one was a seal in transition for his 3rd foul, and then J. Jeff had the one he threw out of bounds looking for D-Watt. So other than that, we didn't turn it over from that point on. And so that was really important for us to continue to on both sides of it. 1, to command the offense the way we need, and 2, to keep them out of transition and having it be an up and down game when we had a lead.
I know you had an existing relationship with Joshua from your time out west, but when you saw his name enter the transfer portal, what was your reaction as a staff about the need to go get him?
Yeah, I mean, I'd recruited him for, the 2 seasons at my previous stop, was very aware of him, saw him play a lot, did a ton of Zoom calls, knew his character, knew what, he could bring to the table, felt like he had even more to his game than what he had shown at the college level at this point, and that this would be a great place for him to bring that out. So fortunate that, he had some trust in the pre-existing relationship, and he was looking for a place where, basketball-wise, that he could really develop. At first I was nervous he'd want to stay out west or closer to home, but shows a lot of maturity on his end, and it's really paid off for him, and we're going to continue to elevate him, and he'll continue to elevate himself.
When you look at a lot of transfer additions across the country, typically it takes some time for them to mesh and kind of get into a groove of the new system or whatever it may be. He's kind of hit the ground running throughout the entire season here, and exclamation point on it tonight. That to me is really impressive considering his knee situation in the offseason. How did you see him kind of acclimate himself despite not being able to play in the summer?
Yeah, he wasn't able to do anything really in the summer except for rehab and get back after it. So, Pete Link and Vic Miller do a terrific job for us, our trainer and our strength coach, of really getting him back into shape. On a daily basis, Joshua's a tremendous worker. I mean, he puts a ton of time into it. He's a veteran. He knows he also has to do a great job taking care of his body, the things he does in the training room, the things he does on his own. And then as the season has moved forward, we've certainly continued to play him bigger minutes because of the impact that he has on winning in so many ways. And he's handled that with great maturity and continued to step up. So I think it's a testament certainly to his work habits, the character, the foundation that he has with his family, and then I think trust also is important, and that's where that pre-existing relationship and trust comes into play when it comes down to the plan that we have for him every day and how that plan will pay off. So great to see.
Coach, 108 points tonight. I know you talk about the daily habits and doing things over and over again, but how was your team able to overwhelm UCF to basically look lost as they did on defense tonight?
Well, we felt like, they're a team that goes aggressively to the offensive boards, which the downside to that can be there's some long rebounds and you can get out in transition. We knew they were going to press, and when they did, that we could attack and get in transition. They do a great job in the backcourt of they had the one steal where they try to, steal the outlet and things along those lines. But we felt like we could get ourselves in situations where we would have an advantage, 4-on-3, 3-on-2, and now it's about converting those advantages. And so, again, I think our guys came out with the right mindset and mentality, and we were aggressive, and we were on the offensive boards from the start as well, and that's a part of our offense. So, we knew what was going to be presented, and we knew the plays that we needed to make, and credit goes to our guys for stepping up and continuing to make them for the full 40 minutes.
TJ, Nate and D-Watt provided big sparks off the bench tonight. What did you like about those guys tonight?
Yeah, D-Watt immediately when he came in wasn't just the three. I mean, I felt like defensively he was flying around making plays, and then, when you have that level of energy, the ball seems to find you, and so he ends up with 11 points and 5 boards in only 11 minutes. Just thought he was terrific, and I think he's going to continue to make strides. We had talked about it, he and I, the last day or two about what that impact needs to look like, and he did his job, and we'll continue to look at him more that way. And I think with Nate, he's capable of so much out there. I mean, we all recognize and see what he does defensively on the glass, the steals. Teams continue to feel like they can try to go at him, and he comes out on the positive end of that the majority of the time, which is great. We're going to continue to demand from him that he's a more aggressive offensive player because we know what he can do. We know he can make shots. We know he can drive the ball and score. We know he can drive the ball and make plays. So we're going to continue to demand from him that he does all those things that we see from him day in and day out.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Coach, if you know off the top of your head how many total deflections your team got today, and how much of scoring 108 points goes back to the defensive mentality you coach so hard every day?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many deflections. I mean, it's one of those things where we want to get them, but within the realm of the defense. We'll guard the basketball, and we don't want to gamble and open the floor. We want to have great focus and intent, being where we need to be in the gaps and that sort of thing. We had a lot of deflections. There's probably 3 or 4 I wish we'd have finished with 2 hands that were like near steals or, plays that we got our hand on but didn't finish. So we'd like to finish all those with 2 hands, but certainly felt like we were impactful that way, able to turn them over. And, we kept telling our guys in the huddle. I mean, I wasn't thrilled with the way the second half started. We weren't out there to trade baskets and that sort of thing. But when we focused on getting stops defensively, it allowed us to get out and go offensively. So it's, the order of operations there for our group's always going to be pressure the ball, guard the ball, finish the plays on the glass, and then we'll have the opportunity to go in transition when we do that.
Coach, I think it was since December 4th when you guys took down Marquette here, since Keyshawn had over 20 points in a game, and obviously, got 21 today. What was it kind of like for him to kind of get all those shots, to see him kind of go in tonight as well as Joshua's biggest performance?
Yeah, and I thought, at least 1, if not 2 of Key's threes looked like it was good and right there as well, outside of the one he did make. So it's great for him to see it go through the basket. I mean, he's such a gifted finisher. At the guard position, there's probably not a better finisher in the country. That body control, both hands, sidestep, through contact, floaters, all the ways that Keyshawn finishes plays. And I was most impressed tonight with his ball security. I mean, the amount of plays he made for himself and for his teammates and only have 1 turnover, that was the most impressive part for me with him. So, again, he's been terrific for us. It's great to see him score it. And I think, the more he focuses on the defensive side and the rebounding side, I think the more that he'll get it and be able to go in transition and be in the open court where he's at his best.
And obviously, early in the second half, he called timeout, I think, after UCF made 4 straight threes. What was it kind of like in the huddle to kind of straighten up your defense, at least on the perimeter?
Yeah, that wasn't as much of a warm, fuzzy conversation as one making sure that we understood that the work that we did every day and playing for one another on that side, that we were going to honor that and that we were not to the standard of what we needed to do. So I just felt like it was important to get our guys' attention and get them refocused. And as disappointed as I was in our start to the half, I thought after that timeout, we fixed things pretty quick.
What's Joshua's best skill?
I'd say his best skill is a playmaker. Like if you said to me, he's such a tough cover because he's a mismatch guy that in space when he has room to operate, like he's really tough to guard one-on-one, and then he can pass the basketball. Certainly there's some parallels probably to what we saw 10 years ago or so from Royce White when he was able to handle it in space and make plays that way. But I think that's where he's at his best, certainly, is that playmaker, that advantage creator. But, man, there's so many things he's doing to impact winning. I mean, and I think we consistently find when we do our numbers defensively, we look at how many possessions do you end and how many plays on the defensive side, and he's constantly 20-plus in terms of great plays on that side. So have to also pay respect to what he does on the other side of the court. But we're going to keep putting it in his hands. We're going to keep getting him downhill. We're going to keep getting him in the paint, and good things happen when we do.
You've talked a lot about how demanding you guys are of those positions and how hard it is to play big minutes as your bigs. How is he able to do that the last 4 or 5 games, and can he continue to do it going forward?
Yeah, when you're the aggressor, the game, it's funny how it works because I feel like if you're the more aggressive team, you usually don't get whistled for as many fouls. If you're the more aggressive, on both sides of it, I feel like you can play longer stretches. It doesn't seem like that would make sense, but I think that's absolutely true. And what Joshua is doing is being the aggressor on both sides. He's taking pride defensively and guarding and then getting stops and rebounding. And then he's also, taking pride in attacking the paint. And obviously when you demand what we're demanding effort-wise and you play 36-plus minutes, and he's had games even like at Texas Tech, I think he played north of that. So, us keeping him out there for those minutes, obviously we're looking at it when he's on the court, we're a better team. And I don't think there's any two ways about it. So we've got to continue to do a great job getting him the rest that he needs to get and taking care of his body, and he needs to as well. And I think when he's out there with that mindset and mentality, that those minutes will continue to stay where they are.
Milan had surgery earlier today. Any details you could share on that? And was it the plan to wait a week with the surgery there, and has that kind of affected that 4 to 6 week timeline?
Yeah, I don't know exact timeline, and I went over and saw him, today before I came over to the game, and he was in good spirits and felt like things would go well. And as far as timeline, I think it's just important that we had all the necessary information for he and his family to make the best decision for him, and we wanted to make sure we didn't rush that. And I think his health and well-being is the most important thing. So my guess is we'll know more in the coming days. In terms of timeline, but I think, from the time he went out, the timeline that we initially had thought is probably still about, what's in place.
I think there was a moment, I think it was in the second half, where Taman stole the inbound, kicked it out, the ball came back to him, and he knocked down a 3. How much did that play just exemplify this team's ability to create opportunities on defense and turn them into points?
Yeah, no, Taman is a warrior. I mean, Taman is somebody that his character, his toughness, his desire to win, play for his teammates, is at the highest level. And he makes plays that only Taman can make. And we talked to him before the game. I said, every game we play our best, you get one of those hustle rebound plays that ignites the crowd and gets everybody going. And I think, 3-4 minutes in, he gets one, gets offensive rebound, he goes in and finishes it. And then, ironic again, like you said, he chased that one down, and then it comes back to him, and he bangs a big 3. For me, that was probably my favorite play of the game because Taman does so many things that enact winning across the board, and he's such a warrior for us. And so when he makes those plays that only he can make, and then he's able to be rewarded for that, those are ones I really enjoy because he's doing so many great things out there for us.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.